What sort of captain were you?
My putting's not very good, and my captaincy was worse.
No, you didn't say rubbish.
What did I say?
You said
We're being set up for one of the biggest showdowns ever, the PGA Tour versus LIV. That would be something.
So I'll let you sledge me.
Do you think you deserved your knighthood? You won a few golf tournaments. There we go, the snap hook left.
No way! Your defensive stroke, time after time.
That wasn't me.
That wasn't you. I remember I had a crunchy bag of something, and VJ, the look he gave me.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm scarred still.
Shut up, VJ. So boring. Putting is so
Putting's boring?
Oh my God.
If ever there was a sport that exemplified evolution and change, it's the game of golf. A sport that was first played in Scotland in the 15th century in 1457. The making of Scotch whisky has trodden a similar path. Since the first written record of the drink, maybe a few decades later, in 1494. As part of my partnership with Duncan Taylor Scotch Whiskies Limited, I've had the pleasure of visiting their warehouses in the Highlands of Scotland, and in conjunction with their chairman, Ewan Shand, and his son Andrew, have handpicked the whiskies that carry my name as part of the Black Bull range. Throughout the years, Duncan Taylor Scotch Whisky have worked on the belief that it should be whiskey without compromise, which means they've been able to create whiskies that stand out from the crowd, and nowhere is that truer than through the company's use of octave casks. Around 70 litres in size, these casks are unique to Duncan Taylor and add an intense aroma and taste to the whiskey. One of the best examples of the effect of these octave casks have on the whiskey is the outstanding Macallan 31-year-old distilled at Macallan but matured in the warehouse of Duncan Taylor in one of those bespoke octave casks. These bottles are offered under the premium octave label and named on the label as Sir Nick's Pick. There are less than 75 bottles available, and they can be purchased exclusively online by going to thespiritsembassy.com. Hi there, Sir Nick here. Just arrived in Dubai, and I'm going to be shooting a new show, 18 with Sir Nick, and I'm going to be joined by Kevin Pietersen, and we're going to go out and play the Faldo floodlit golf course here at the Emirates Club.
Good evening or good afternoon, sir. Nick?
How are you, Kev? Nice to... Well, good to see you out on the range. How are you?
I'm good.
You've been out there smashing it already.
I went and walked a couple of holes. When you're playing against someone of your quality, I'm going to have to
step it up a notch.
I'm going to have to really warm up. How do you warm up? Is it you start with the small clubs, end up with a driver, or do you?
I used to do, actually, I would almost start on the putting green first.
So boring.
Huh?
Putting is so
Putting's
boring.
boring?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, but it's discipline,
No,
isn't it?
well.
Did you have any discipline in your sport?
Well,
Not
in sport, yes. Life, maybe not. but I find it so boring.
Well, there was the old defensive stroke time after time.
I didn't do many of
them.
them. That wasn't me.
That wasn't you. So
No.
I get it. I understand. So okay, well, rack my brains and try and make putting exciting for you.
Exciting and very quick, because cricket is very much.
That you had to stop that.
And I've got to stop that. I taught myself to play a draw, and then for about 3 weeks I started the old snappy.
Oh.
And then the block.
Well, the snappy is because it's all too much arms.
Yep.
So you've got to learn to time how much body. Because I love that. I call it rotate. If this arm rotates over, get me? Rotate that though, and then as you come through, you obviously rotate this one the other way. Another great feeling is where you point the thumb.
No.
So when you, do you want technical stuff or what do you want?
No, I'm a feel guy.
All right, you want feel. Oh, so
just feel.
As I said, feel where you're pointing your thumb then.
Which thumb? The right thumb.
Your right thumb? Yeah, so if you finish, slow down, come back. Just go through. If you went through impact and pointed your thumb there, now you've done all the rotation. It's done. You're doing it now. There, that's great. Oh, there you go. How about that one?
Yeah.
Nice. I think, sorry it took me so long. So I know you started in 2013. So 2010, what did you think of golf?
How honest do you want me to be?
You hated golf.
I hated golf. I spent enough time on the grass. I spent enough time under pressure. I just thought, no. I need a break. I remember there's a funny story. One of our friends, he chartered a very big boat during one of the World Cups in the Caribbean. And we were on there, and these guys were watching this tournament called the Masters. And I was on the jet skis, and I was having the best of time, and I couldn't believe what these guys were doing. And now, I don't miss a golf shot. I mean, I was in the clubhouse there was cricket on here, but there was golf here, and I was like, what's he doing? Right, he's bowling. I literally do not miss a shot. I am obsessed.
What flipped the switch? What changed you?
I think when I stopped playing test cricket, I think that's what changed everything. This helped me, this game here helped me, because it's so hard, you can never master it, and I always said in the job, if I think I know too much, that's when I'm done.
Exactly.
And so I went in there, and now I can just go and hit thousands of golf balls.
And you're happy. You
and
love it.
I'm so happy.
It's amazing.
Honestly,
isn't it?
I am so happy.
Yeah.
But my wife said to me about 2 or 3 years ago, I came back in and I was fuming. I was absolutely livid. And I just said, I'm gonna play like this, and I hate this game. And she looked at me, she said, if I went to the spa all morning and I came back into the house and I was fuming and I was in a horrendous mood, she said, do you get paid for this? I said, no. I said, I've just lost 5 quid. She said, exactly. She said, this is a hobby. Enjoy it. It's exactly right. I've had worst rounds, and I walk into the house and I go, I played like an absolute fool, but guess what? I loved it.
What's for dinner? I found life quite difficult for a while, because where in golf, every shot had an intention, had a result, had a reaction. And then when we stop, where was our goal? There's no goals each day. Then people will say, well, have a nice day. And you go, well, how do I judge that? Because who judges it for me? And when you lose that, I found that quite tough.
On the flip side, when I stopped, it was one of the biggest stress relief. So actually for me, it was pressure off. It was a... I'm so happy I'm out of here.
You went into home life, family life, kids.
Absolutely. Moved out of London, and I just completely went away from everything. It was, for the biggest stress relief for us, having been through a painful period. And then I was lucky enough to start the game of golf, which still kept me focused on sport. So I had that drive, I had that ambition. I wanted to get down to a single-figure handicap.
Do you think you should have picked an individual sport?
I think I had a pretty cool career. I was lucky enough to win Ashes Series home and away, beat India home and away, win World Cup. I lived my dream. For English cricket to give me that opportunity to realize my dream, oh man, I was so lucky.
So when you were a young kid in South Africa, how old were you when the light bulb hit you and you went, oh, that's what I want to do? How old were you?
Well, it's a great question, because I was old. I was 17, 18 years of age. I was rubbish for a very long time. So I was a very late developer. But it's pretty cool now when I speak to my kids and I go and do chats around the world saying, it doesn't matter how good your kid is at 12.
No.
Stop trying to make him the next Tiger Woods. Stop trying to make him the next Sachin Tendulkar. Stop trying to make him the greatest rugby player at that age, because it doesn't matter.
No.
Just keep your kid happy. Drill them and make sure that they've got some sort of drive. Are they competitive? Are they fair? But be happy.
I mean, you were one of the best batsmen in the world. Fantastic, aggressive player. And then you come to our game and you've got to,
and I'm not very
good. Well, you can still give it some welly, but we've still got to finish it off. You can't keep smashing it at this end, smash it at that end.
The reason why I do play so much golf, and actually I do a lot of business on the golf course, is because I like to see if I can hang out with people. And I like to see if I can be friends with people. Never throw the club, never break a club, never shout, never swear. There is a little bit of occasional dismay when I go, oh man, why did I do that? But I don't earn money out of golf. There's nothing. If we play for 5 quid, it's 5 quid. It's more of the old, right, I've got the one-upmanship. But I've actually really enjoyed the journey because it's mellowed me out.
You couldn't have been a mellow cricketer.
When I got out, I was very nervous waiting to bat, and I was very anxious in and around the wicket, and then I slowly got myself into an innings and I calmed down and got my shoulders out, and I was just like, right, you now got to boss the game. When I used to get out, everybody knows, I used to walk upstairs, take my pads off and go and sit outside. That's it. None of this throwing the bat, kicking a chair, swearing at somebody. I learned to be very good at forgetting what I can't control. If you're out, you're out.
You're done.
Done.
That is such a great quality to you know, in any sport,
Forget.
to be able to deal with. We talk about staying in the present. You might be the best guy staying in the present right here. I'm definitely going to learn something today.
No. Well, I don't think so. Not in your game.
I think people have a similar perception of us, both of us, from, you know, the media, obviously. They really did tell a story they wanted to tell. I had that enviable quality of being completely in the zone. You know, when you're walking and somebody says, "Hey Nick, how are you?" that sort of thing, you don't actually hear it.
No.
So he thinks you're an arse, but you did not hear it.
Just single-minded.
Yeah,
my job, got a job to do.
You had that wonderful intensity when you played.
I think I may, in some circumstances, have made better decisions. I mean, off the field, politically, I might have played a different game. But I think the way that I played the game, the aggressive nature in which I played the game, I don't think I would have played in that manner. And I don't think I would have, say, entertained as much as I did entertain, because I was at the crease. I was anxious. I was like, wow, yeah, there we go. Let's smack it. Yeah. Whereas actually what this game has taught me is it's the next ball and off you go. It's the next ball and off you go. I mean, I've just hit it right at the green here. I hit it right at the green there. And it's just like, forget it. So, yeah, I think now I would love to have played a better, and I probably would have played a better political game 10, 15 years ago off the field. But in terms of work, I was pretty comfortable with my work.
Yeah, definitely. So you wanted to make putting a bit more exciting. In one word, what sort of captain were you?
My putting's not very good, and my captaincy was worse.
No, you've got to say what you said. We can say it. This is the new world.
Rubbish.
No, you didn't say rubbish.
What did I say?
You said
This is a family show.
People thought I was as well. I didn't think I was, but they said I was. I only had one go, which is really hard work in our game, because people don't get that, sure, you do something for the very first time, and sure, you've made mistakes. And the only way to learn in life is make mistakes. Learn from it, deal with it, and come back better. You don't get that opportunity. It really hurts you, because you know, the Monday after the Ryder Cup, you're dumped.
Yep. I captained a few series, but then I had a bit of a fallout with the coach, and then it was just a bit of a shambles. But in terms of the capacity to captain and understand everything, at the time that I got captaincy, everything I touched turned to gold on the field. Like, I was just scoring all the runs. I was part of every team. I was doing everything I could. But I hadn't had children. I didn't know what homesickness was. I hadn't dealt with an injury. So I couldn't actually relate to a lot of the squad.
Really?
Some people who were injured, some people who were missing their children, some people who didn't like to travel. I was like, this is the greatest job in the world. You should never be moaning, never complain. Do what you need to do. Just play. You are just living the dream. That was my philosophy. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
But I never, that emotional side, the older I got, the kids I had, the more I actually did start to miss home. Then I had a few niggles, so I knew playing with pain, all that. When I started to relate more to that side, I mean, it was too late. I was gone. But I was the only option. I was the only one playing all three forms of the game. I was the only one right front and center, being picked first up. Yeah. I mean, I was lying on my bed, and I was watching Sky News, and they said, breaking news, Pietersen captain. Sorry?
Wow, really?
Wow, okay, that's a nice way to find out.
Really?
Yep.
That's a good story.
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah, you could have at least called me.
Tell me more. Take a practice and really make commit. You know, you're going to finish and put your right thumb in your left ear. There you go. Make a commitment to finish your swing. Oh, blimey. Nice. I honestly believe that, you know, there's a physical side to your sport, isn't there? There's a technical and there's a mental.
You've either got it or you don't.
Yeah, so it's bottle, isn't it? What we called it bottling. Just wondering how you thought of that, how you dealt with that. You know, the pressure, it's self-inflicted, isn't it? Really.
I always think that when you get to the top, there are so many people that want your place.
Yeah.
That there's different pressures at the top.
Yeah. And
you have to deal with it. You're earning the big bucks, you're on the front of magazine, everyone's talking about you. You pull into a restaurant, you get the gig at the restaurant, you go there, you get tickets everywhere, you become friendly with everyone. But there comes with the pressures. Yeah. And you either want to own it or you don't want to own it.
Yeah.
And you either have bottle, and you want to understand that bottle exists because of where you are and the nature of what you do.
So how about on the...
On is
day.
simplifying and just trusting preparation.
Yeah.
Very, very simple. To try and keep it simple. When you start thinking of all these things around you and where this is and what's happening and jeepers, you just start thinking of failure. No.
How would you teach a kid to be able to go and focus
just
on
watch
the
the
ball?
ball.
There you go.
Just watch the ball. So as a batter, I mean, I can pick up anyone's hands around here and I'll just watch their hands and I'll just watch that ball. You've got 10 seconds from the back of the mark to the thing. Watch the ball. Try and identify something on the ball that's going to give you a clue. Outswinger, in-swinger, off-spinner, leg spinner, googly, something. So you sort of front-load it knowing inside of you what's going to be delivered.
Yeah.
Look at the field. I'm happy. Gap, 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 gap. And then option A, option B.
Yeah.
But it doesn't always work. It's easy to talk after your career, but it doesn't always work.
But you went into every shot with the right intention, with good intentions.
Tried.
I think you did more than try.
No, because there were many an occasion where I couldn't do it.
Oh, really?
Where I battled, where I stood at the crease and I took guard and I thought, oh my goodness.
No, I agree with that. I agree with 100% because when it's going right, it all flows, doesn't it? And it all happens like that.
Easy.
And then when you play and you don't feel great and you're not thinking great, but you still have to go out there.
One thing I battled.
That's the thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
We can't, like us, when we've just taken a triple and we're now on the 14th, you can't go, oh, thank you, time out, I'll have half an hour. It's like, oh, shoot, got to tee up at 15 and start again. And I've just been hitting it like this for the last...
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, that's the difference.
Well, for you, your momentum and your carry-on is hole to hole to hole. Yeah. If I stand there and I nick off for naught, I can at least just go and sit in the dressing room and think, right, tomorrow's another day.
Yeah, there you go, yeah.
You play at a ball, you miss a ball, or you nick it, and the guy drops you at slip, and then the replay plays 10 times from all different angles on the screen, and you go, oh, oh, oh. And then you got to face the next ball, and you go, geez, please don't nick it, please don't nick it, please don't nick it.
So you've seen an awful lot of changes in cricket, and of course now we've got this new LIV series. What do you think of this for golf?
I've seen this movie play out.
Yeah.
I think it'll eventually work out. I think that time is always a healer. I think the statement has been made. I think the players could have been smarter in the way that they had started it off and just said, listen, I'm being paid $150 million. What are you going to do? You in the heat of your career, heart of your career, if somebody came up to you and said, Nick, here's $150 million. There's no way in this world, and I don't think you can look at me now and say, I would straight away turn that down. I mean, you can't blame these guys.
No, I agree. There's certain times, especially in their career, as all those guys in the late 40s have mentally probably said, you know, the odds on winning now are really slim. Or he might be saying there's no chance. So you can get it where say to the missus, to the family, look, if I disappear and play for 2 years, I'm going to leave with tens of millions.
Yeah, I think the model that they're trying to follow, and we have talked about it, the Formula One model and that team model, I think it has legs. It definitely has legs. Are they? But are they?
But there's only one team event. That's the Ryder Cup. And guess what we play for at the Ryder Cup?
For nothing.
Nothing.
No, I
get
that. But also, who's to say that there's no space for another tour?
Listen,
I love all golf, right?
Yeah.
So when I turn on the TV and I see Dustin playing against Cameron Smith the other day on a tour in Saudi, and then I turn on the TV and I see Rory playing against Fitzpatrick on the DP World Tour, and then I turn on the TV and I see Burns versus Willett. I think it was on the same week.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care. I love golf.
Okay.
I absolutely love golf. Have I seen this movie play out in our sport? Yes, I have. I've seen it play out. Does it work out? In our sport, it did work out because now you have England players, whereas I was the only England player champion in IPL, and I was the one that basically lost my career because of all of that. Yeah. But now every single England player picks his schedule. The captain of England a couple of years ago was able to miss games of England to stay in India to play in the IPL.
Wow. Okay.
Whereas it's what I talked about in 2008, 2009, and oh my God, that was me dead. And I think actually you're talking about the Ryder Cup. We're being set up for one of the biggest showdowns ever, the PGA Tour versus LIV. That would be something.
I know.
Imagine.
That would be big.
Maybe we're all being set up for it.
Tiger again was talking about the majors and say that's our yardstick. We're measured by the majors and what we've done. How's your legacy in the game, in your game?
I don't know what legacy is. And that's why I find it a difficult question to answer or a difficult topic to go anywhere near, just purely based on the fact that why should we be privileged enough to walk around and say I've got a legacy and I'm better than everybody else?
Yeah, no, but you've measured, you've measured well, what you did, your scoring average, and all those sort of
that's
things.
different.
Would you rather have a legacy off the cricket pitch?
What we do for conservation and what we try and do just by giving back
Yeah.
is way more important for me than what I did on a cricket field. The cricket field enabled me to be able to do what I do, which is absolutely fine. So I don't like talking legacy sport. I actually couldn't care less.
No,
I averaged what I averaged. I played the way that I play. When you actually finish in our sport, it's not about how many hundreds I scored. It's actually about how you played.
Yeah.
And did you empty the bar or did you fill the bar up?
Yeah.
I know you guys are different because it's a singular sport, individual sport, and it's about W's. That's it.
Yeah.
Whereas for us, it's how did you play? Like what kind of a player were you?
Yeah, no, I agree with
And
that.
that's the enabler for off the field,
Yeah.
which is what I try and use positively now around all of this stuff.
Yeah, I'm sure I've been quoted on a very similar line. I wanted people to say, I watched Faldo play golf. I get a really nice kick when people tell their stories and go, oh, wow, I got on the train, went up to Scotland, across to Muirfield, watched you win, back on the train, went up, sat down, I thought,
pretty
that
cool.
made their day.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
We don't get that.
But don't you think that you notice more of that when you're finished than when you're actually in that zone?
Yeah,
and
sure,
you're
because
playing
you're just doing it. You're
You're
doing
just
your
grafting.
thing and you're just...
I do have a laugh at my buddies on the golf course when you do something crazy and I say, no shop sells it. No shop sells it. And they get so cross.
Come by, mate.
No shop sells it.
So I didn't even know this thing. You have a thing, it's called sledging. Everybody was in your ear.
Everyone.
What, even around you could hear them?
Everyone.
Really?
I mean, everybody goes at everybody at different stages of the game, but don't forget the crowd. You go and play in Australia, or you play in, me playing in South Africa, my first tour of South Africa. I mean, you can't even hear yourself think when you're standing there trying to face the bowler and the crowd is all over you, 30, 40,000 people.
Really?
Yeah. And that's why I can't understand about you guys. You're so precious. I mean,
really?
you're so precious. It's embarrassing. We have 50,000. I mean, at the MCG, you have 100,000 people baying for your blood.
Really?
And if I even think about going, oh, please, quiet, quiet. I mean, crikey, do me a favour.
Well, we all got really upset.
me
The
a
Ryder
favour.
Cup, they were going three putt.
Yeah.
When we got over on the greens, they were going.
Yeah, well, then just
91.
drain it and go.
The 90, yeah, exactly. The 91 Ryder Cup, where it all started when people were going three putt. You walked on the green, three putt.
Good.
So that was, you like that?
Yes,
Don't
that's
think-
competition. That's real
Really?
engagement. Yeah.
Really? Yeah.
And that gives you something else to deal with. 100%. I love it.
Wow.
I love that. The Aussies called it mental disintegration. And if they thought that you had something about you that couldn't tolerate it, they would just eat you alive. But then you start to learn very quickly. There's certain players you go at and there's certain players you just leave them alone. I mean, I don't understand it. And I know it's not golf. And I love golf and I'm a great fan of golf and I love hearing it.
But I remember I had a crunchy bag of something and I went, and VJ, the look he gave me.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm scarred still. I remember it to this day.
Shut up, VJ. Right?
Oh, when we start our own golf tour with the sledging
can
golf
sledge.
tour,
Yeah.
all mic'd up, sledging each other.
They'll be the most mentally tough golfers on the
Wouldn't
planet.
that would be entertaining. Oh, we got it. We thought of that first. Copyright that. Right.
We just don't have any cash to pay them.
Yeah. So I'm a knight of the realm,
Wow.
and you're only MBE.
Okay.
So I want to see. I've never experienced this, so I'll let you sledge me as long as you don't hurt my delicate heart.
Do you think you deserved your knighthood? You won a few golf tournaments.
I did.
There we go, the snap hook left.
No way, is it perfect?
That's a snap hook left.
No, you're no good at it. No, you're too.
Okay, that tour's cancelled.
I did about 28 plus years playing, and I probably said for the last 10 years, there's no way I am coming back and sitting up there and talking golf.
Yeah.
And sure enough, it happened. What about you? How did you get into commentary?
I like talking about the game. I think I bring a different aspect and more entertaining, sort of aggressive nature to passages of play, looking at positive options, just thinking differently and thinking outside the box. So not being super critical, realizing that you are a much better player when you finish playing in a commentary box than you ever were when you play. But you just got to keep telling yourself that. You got to keep making sure you realize that the game's tough.
I've got a very good eye. You know, I see things differently to other people, and I thought I could spot interesting things technically very quickly.
But I also like the commentators that have been there.
Yeah,
they've done it, and they can tell you how it's going to get done.
Doesn't always happen down 16, 17, 18. I can tell when a guy looks at the lie, he's leading by 1 on the 7th hole. I know he's looked at it and gone, oh, that's what I always looked at for. Oh, Christ.
Oh no, yeah.
Oh shoot. I mean, and he looks at the shot. You can tell in his eyes. He's, oh yeah, I don't like this one.
But that's the line of commentary that everybody likes, telling and explaining to people what think actually might happen next. Honestly, I just count my lucky stars that I'm still able to talk about the game. I love it. I absolutely love it. Just still having that connection to a job that gave me sort of everything that I've got.
Yeah, I love the words from in Indiana Jones when he says, "You chose wisely."
You chose wisely.
Yeah, I feel like I chose well. I picked a game for me, it was perfect for me as a young, only child. I guess you picked wisely, you picked the game.
Yeah, very, very lucky that was my job. And I think us as sportsmen, and not many people that can wake up.
You're right.
I mean, there's huge apartment blocks here now. Looking over this golf, you got to knock on every single door. It's Monday morning, tomorrow morning, saying, "Are you happy? It's Monday tomorrow."
Yeah, you're right.
Most of the time, we wake up going,
"Oh, great!
Man, I'm playing golf. I'm playing at Pebble Beach. I'm playing here." I was walking out to bat at Lords, at the SCG, at the Brabourne Stadium in Mumbai, at the in Eden Gardens, at the MCG in Barbados, South Africa. It's just like, dude. You're pretty lucky.
Yeah, exactly. How do we summarize when we were our best, that moment, in 3 words? And I'm going first because it suddenly dawned on me, because when I won the Open, I said to myself, I've finally done it. Is that 4?
4.
Done it?
Done it.
Well,
the younger generation, done it is one word. Done
exactly,
it.
It's done it.
Done it.
I've finally done it.
I'll use 4 words as well. A lot of freedom. A lot of freedom. I just felt free. I just felt like everything was in slow motion.
That's a good one. So when you're under mega pressure, the moment to win the match, did that moment ever be in slow motion?
Yes, a lot of it.
How cool is that?
A lot of it.
Because I had my moment coming up, 18th hole at Muirfield.
Yeah.
First time to win the Open.
Yeah.
I've got 5 iron.
Yeah.
And it went. That's what it felt like.
Yep.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah. That's the zone. That's what the zone. They call it the zone, right? When you're in that purple patch and just everything slows down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't that wacky?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
All right.
Thanks, Nick. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Cheers. Thanks. We all know there's 18 holes in the game of golf, but 18's been a very prominent number in my career. I turned professional at 18 years old. And of course, in 1987, I shot 18 consecutive pars in the last round to win my very first Open at Muirfield. Probably never going to happen again. And then a few years later, in 1990 at St Andrews, I shot 18 under par, back in the good old days of persimmon driver and a Bellata golf ball. I kind of like those numbers. Working with the team at Duncan Taylor Scotch Whiskies Limited, we have created a new range of their blended Scotch whiskies under the Black Bull label. And in line with 18 holes, our first release is our 18-year-old that I'm delighted to put my name to. With more to come in the range in the months and years ahead, as part of my partnership with Duncan Taylor, go to thespiritsembassy.com now to buy a product that I couldn't be more proud of. Hi there, Sir Nick here, and I'm very fortunate to have the opportunity to taste some wonderful rare scotches. They're around 30 years old Macallans, 32, 31, 31. So I've just tasted these, and these will be placed in hotels, restaurants, golf clubs all over the world. And this is a dispenser that Duncan Taylor designed, so you'll get your whiskey glass, you'll have your credit card, and you'll come up and just give it one little tap. So this is number 3. This one was my particular favorite, and So it's a 31-year-old Macallan from a sherry cask, and so the important thing is cask number 5303. That's what you got to look for, 5303. That will be released very soon, so for more details, stick around. And I will sit back and enjoy this, and I hope you do too. Cheers.